The day began like any other day and business was slow. Let me introduce myself. My name's Harry Woolmuth. I'm a private investigator. I work mainly with missing people. I mean, I don't work with the actual people who are missing, because then they wouldn't be missing and they would be in front of me, which would be strange because then someone else... Anyway, you get the point. When necessary, I rescue them from whatever captivity they find themselves in. It was one of those thankless jobs, where the work was dangerous and the pay little. But I didn't mind so much. I guess you could say I liked the action. I just finished my 14th cup of coffee. I was about to read the daily comics when I thought I heard some footsteps. And then the knock. I said, "Come in." And that's exactly what she did. I'd seen her kind hundreds of times before. A girl in trouble, in over her head, looking for help from a real professional. The story's always the same. They called every detective in town, and unfortunately none were available. So as an absolute last resort, she called me. Harry, private investigator. She must have seen our ad in the Yellow Pages. She explained that her brother had gotten into some trouble and had an outstanding debt that he couldn't repay in 2 lifetimes. She hadn't heard from him in a couple of days, and well, she feared the worst. It wasn't a pretty sight seeing the dame so desperate. I couldn't help but be touched. In this line of work, your emotions sometimes get the better of you. I know it was foolish, but I took the case anyway. You might say I'm a softie. And there's the fact that my lights were about to be turned off because I couldn't pay my bills. I needed the job and she needed a PI. And that's what I do. For my name is Harry, private investigator. She said thank you. I said, "You're welcome." And with that, she was gone. I was going to need some muscle for this case. I knew just who to call. Dirk Dork. Or was it Dork Dirk? I never could get his name straight. Anyway, I called Dirk, and as usual, he was ready for action. Dirk was a real professional. Not the sharpest crayon in the box, but he was dependable. Or at least available. We spent countless hours studying and practicing the latest martial art techniques. And for heavier jobs, we were always prepared with small firearms. I was dead on. It was going to be a tough case, but we would rescue her brother no matter the cost. Unless, of course, she ran out of money. For my name is Harry, private investigator. And this is my partner, Dork. Dirk Dork. Whatever. We picked up a wise guy who had some information. He was a tough one and didn't want to spill the beans, so we had to rough him up a little bit. Part of the job. After that, well, let's just say, he sang like a bird. He informed us that someone had paid her brother's debt just in the nick of time. Some big shot went by the name of J.C. Why anyone would pay this guy's debt puzzled me. His life wasn't worth a dime. There had to be more to the story. We heard he was being held captive in an old warehouse called Lighthouse Alliance. Sounded like some kind of gang. I sensed a trap, but springing traps was my specialty.
Yeah, right.
Shut up, will you? I'm telling the story here.
Oh, can I tell none of it?
Well, freeze. I do need a restroom break. I guess it wouldn't hurt to let you tell a little of it.
Oh, great.
Just the facts.
Oh, of course, boss.
And no exaggeration.
Never, boss. Let's rewind and hear my version of what really happened. I was the boss. So Harry, he was scared. I had to slap him around a couple of times to snap him out of it. Harry's not tough like me, so I slapped him again. When you're the brains of the operation, you gotta take charge. So I took out my superpower ring, sort of what like the Green Lantern has. I made a portal through one of the walls. We jumped through it.
Alright, I'm back. You didn't exaggerate, did you?
Oh, no, I had just mentioned that we had gotten into the building.
So there we were inside the building. With cat-like skill, we moved towards the location we suspected he was being held. We heard someone coming, most likely security, so we decided to hide and ambush them. Huh? After we took care of security, we headed down the hallway. We heard voices in the next room. They had to be keeping them in there. So there we were, the moment of truth. Time to be heroes. We decided to take a closer look. Our best bet was to go in like wild men, scaring away any wise guys. We'd go in on 2. We would have gone in on 3, but Dirk had troubles with high numbers. 1, 2, go.
People, I think we might be a little bit outnumbered.
Don't panic. Just look tough. Then we ought to make an example out of one of them. Let them know we mean business.
Yeah, good idea, boss. Which we pick?
Make sure it's a toughness, not a roughness in the group.